gamers, and welcome to another episode of Know Your Game. Welcome back. In this episode, I want to talk about a certain game. A game that's similar to Zelda Bot W, but not so similar. A game about the past. The past before modern technology. I'll give a little hint. I've made 2 episodes based on this type of game. If you still don't know, then, well, I guess I'll tell you. It's Pokemon Legends Arceus, or PLA for short. Come on guys, it's not that hard. If you guessed it right, then well done. Anyway, this episode is all about PLA. Think about it as a review. I recently just got PLA and finished most of it, and I thought why don't I make a review of it? Anyways, let's begin. Like I said before, Pokemon Legends Arceus is very, very similar to Zelda Bot W. And to be clear, Bot W is Breath of the Wild in short. Both is to an extent open world. Both is rich in lore and more. One similarity is that both games have monsters. One has literal monsters, one has pocket monsters, which is Pokemon. Another is that both games have creatures that will hurt and might even kill the protagonist. One difference between the games is that one of them is in the past and one is in the present. Pokemon Legends Arceus takes place approximately 300 years ago, while Bot W is in the present. However, you can also say that it takes place in the future, in an alternate dimension. I don't really know anyway. Zelda's timeline is very complex. Another difference is that one is in a post-apocalyptic world, while the other isn't. Another difference is that PLA lets you choose your protagonist's gender, while Bot W, however, doesn't. You can only use Link in Bot W, but it recompensates by letting you have a multitude of outfits for Link. So I guess it's okay. The graphics of the games isn't as bad as people say it is, but compared to Zelda Bot W, it is worse, but not much. The graphics of trees here are much better. If you look back at how much Pokemon has changed, then I would guarantee that you won't say that its graphics is bad. Considering that long ago every Pokemon game was pixelated, this new Pokemon game isn't so bad after all. What I'm trying to say is that if you hear people complain about how bad graphics are in a game on Twitter, well, don't trust them. Or at least just look for yourself and decide if it's bad or not. But it's usually fake. It's never that bad. Anyways, the plot of the story is not bad, but there are some big plot holes. Disclaimer alert, there will be spoilers about the game in these few parts, so if you don't want to hear them, try skipping ahead. Alright, let's continue. The story begins by Arceus talking to you. It would say that you should find all Pokemon to meet him again. You'll later wake up on a beach, Prelude Beach, with something called an Arc Phone. 3 Pokemon, Rowlet, Cyndaquil, Oshawott, and a man named Laventon will then meet you. He would say that you came from the space-time rift, which is on Mount Coronet. The 3 Pokemon will later run away, and the man, Laventon, who's a professor, will ask you to help him catch them all. Once you caught them all, Laventon will then guide you to Jubilife Village. A village full of life and joy, like the name suggests. Laventon will then guide you to Galaxy Hall and introduce you to Captain Xylene, who's the captain of the Survey Corps, which is a division of the Galaxy team that is tasked to complete something called a Pokédex, which is actually something Professor Laventon came up first, not Professor Oak. Prince Eileen will then ask you to do some trials to join the Survey Corps. Once you did it, you'll be given a starter, which you can choose, of course. Then, you will explore Hisui, which is Sinnoh, but it's the region's name at the time. Later at night, a bunch of lightning struck a bunch of noble Pokemon, which are descendants of Pokemons that were blessed by Arceus itself, and is worshipped by the local people. Well, not really worship, which is the Diamond and Pearl clan. And both clans are rivals, enemies you can say. All 5 nobles will become frenzied, and you will be tasked to quell them. First is Cleavor. You'll find it in one of the 5 regions of Hisui, which in this case is the Obsidian Fields. You'll have to make something called bombs to calm the nobles down. After Cleavor, it's Lilligant, Lady of the Ridge. You'll find it in the Crimson Marlands. Next is Arcanine, which is in the Cobalt Coastlands. After Arcanine is Voltorb, whose warden is seriously like a Karen. Seriously, there's no one more unlikable than that guy. Melly is a threat to a peaceful society. Anyways, you'll find Voltorb in the Cornet Highlands. Last but not least is the Lord of the Thundra, Avalugg. Avalugg will be harder than most nobles, by the way. For me, though. I don't know for other people. After you quell them all, the rift will somehow become bigger, rather than being smaller or even close. The Galaxy Team boss, Kamado, will then exile you because you also came from the rift. Then you will meet Volo, a merchant that you know, and he will lead you to the ancient retreat. There you will meet Kogita and the 2 clan leaders. Then you will have to choose who you want with you for your journey. Later, you'll be on a massive journey to find all the Lake Guardians to make the Red Chain. After you get the Red Chain, you'll have to go to Mount Coronet and inform Kamado that you can save the universe. While you're traveling there, you'll meet Benny, a chef that's actually a ninja, and battle him. But seriously, the plot twist in this game is crazy. Later, when you arrive at the Temple of Sinnoh, which is actually Spear Pillar, you will find Kamado, and you will have to battle him to show you are the true boss. You'll later use the Red Chain to capture either Dialga or Palkia, whichever clan leader you chose to help you. If you chose Adaman, the Diamond clan leader, to help you, you'll catch Dialga. If you chose Irida, you'll catch Palkia. Whoever you chose to help you, you will still catch both Pokemon. After you caught one of the Pokemon, you'll encounter its counterpart. You'll then have to make an Origin Ball, which surprisingly is very, very cool. It's actually cooler than a Master Ball, if that's even possible. And once you catch it, well, you're done. No, I'm serious, you're done with the game. Hooray! But well, it's still not done yet. There are actually multiple endings. Let me give you a quick rundown. After completing the game, you'll be going into the post-game. Volo will ask you to gather plates. And yes, this is special plates, not just ordinary plates. Duh. And after you're done, Volo will reveal that he was actually evil from the start. And then he'll battle you. Once you win, you'll have to battle Giratina, his friend, I guess. And later, you can catch it. Volo will then explain that he and Giratina was the one that made the rift. It was them that made the nobles frenzied. He will say that he wanted to meet Arceus. Then, the end. But wait, there's actually more. Remember when Arceus said that you should catch all Pokemon? Well, if you do catch all the Pokemon, you'll then meet Arceus. And then you can later catch it. The end. But seriously, that's all. That's the ending. Like for real. Like I I said before, this game is rich with lore. The people living there, well, most are actually ancestors of a lot of characters in the present. Volo, for example, is Cynthia's ancestor. Kogita too. Silene, she's Cyrus's ancestor. There's also a side character named Rai, which is actually Riley's ancestor, and they both uses Lucario. Crazy. Another example is Kamado. He's actually Professor Rowan's ancestor. In the post-game, Kamado also said that he would study under Professor Lavenden to know more about Pokemon too. Seriously, this game is full of lore. There's also ancestors from descendants that are from different regions. Okay, yeah, maybe I should rephrase that. There are ancestors of people who's from different regions. There's a gym leader, Volkner, from Kanto region that is actually has an ancestor from the Hisui region. I think it was Volkner though. And well, the plot holes that I mentioned, well, remember that the protagonist has an ARC phone? Well, it wasn't like that at the start. The ARC phone is basically an upgraded phone. Yes, a phone. So it implies that the protagonist is from the future. But after completing everything, you still don't go back to the present. So, perhaps a tease for a future game? Maybe we'll never know. Also, whenever you go into the wild, you might encounter space-time distortions. But isn't it happening because of the rift? Well, actually, even after you close the rift, space-time distortions still happen. That's weird, right? How can it still happen? There's still much more about the game that this episode can't say fully. And if you want to know more about the game, message me personally. And if a lot of people wants to have another episode about PLA, then I'll make one. Anyways, we've talked way more than usual, and well, the episode's done. There's really nothing more to add, and if I have to add something, it would be that in my opinion, PLA is at least not a 9 out of 10. I promise you guys won't regret it if you just gave it a chance. Anyways, that's all for this episode. I hope you guys liked it. See you guys next week. Goodbye and farewell, fellow gamers. Goodbye.